Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One Doc.
It's your girl, BD.
It's your girl, Florence, the fiance,
and we're back. Oh, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Do you know what? Happy New Year. Happy New Year is different to me now because I've been listening to the auditions on Clubhouse.
Okay, I haven't been listening, but I know there's this whole thing about them saying Happy New Year when they're
He's like, thank you, Happy New Year.
These auditions.
Like, imagine you're singing. Thank you, Happy New Year.
Is it in the middle of singing?
Yes. Just as in terms of like, it's like instead of saying stop, he's like, Happy New Year, thank you, and then he would take you off stage.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Is this are they actually auditioning for something?
Yeah, they're auditioning for a dream. You know how they did the Lion King?
Yeah.
They're auditioning to do like a Dreamgirls on Clubhouse.
Okay.
Do you know how they did Lion King?
Like
they did Lion King.
They did the performance.
They did a production, of Lion King. Yeah, so they're auditioning to do Dreamgirls on Clubhouse.
Do you get paid for this or?
I don't know, but you know people that are in the whole like Broadway scene, they just love to do it. So I don't know if they get paid, but I mean, I will listen to it when it comes out because I missed the Lion King one.
Dreamgirls is my favourite movie of all time.
Exactly, always going on about Dreamgirls.
Literally, I know every single word to every song. I can tell you word for word what they're going to say at each scene. So, I mean, yeah, I'll listen because for the band.
Oh, thank you so much. So grateful.
Yeah, okay. I think I'll listen to auditions because it's Dreamgirls. But you know what? I can't get.
You don't have to listen to the auditions, but like when the actual production comes out.
Yeah, I can't get sucked into Clubhouse. Work starts tomorrow, and yeah, I can't do it to myself. I've been up till like 3-4 a.m. on Clubhouse.
Wild.
There's so many different things going on, so I'm just like, to be honest, the main thing was like Dangote's Side Chicks. That's what I was on Clubhouse for.
Oh yeah, do you know what? I always miss everything because I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
And then I wake up in the morning
and you're like,
and
shit.
then I just have to piece things together. No, it's not even shit. Like I'm just like, oh, let me just piece things together, and then like scrolling for a few minutes, you figure everything out, and then I'll go on Clubhouse and see that you've like pinged me or someone's like pinged me into a room, but because all my notifications are off, I'm missing all these crucial moments. So I literally have turned on my notifications for Clubhouse alone.
Yeah, I did. I had only notifications for Clubhouse, but then it was too much, so I turned it off.
What do you mean?
Like I was
getting
too many notifications.
Frequency, you know? But I guess you're like famous in the Twitter scene, so the Twitter sphere, so you probably are getting more. It makes sense.
But guys, I'm actually sipping on something today. Oh
my god, that is so funny. What are you sipping on?
Prosecco.
Cheeky Prosecco.
It's the last bit of Prosecco from New Year's. This is my last, actually after this I'm going to have apple crumble. Then that will be like my last supper.
Your last hurrah.
Till 22 when I say I do. So cheers, guys. Cheers to weight loss.
I actually am sipping on water because I'm doing dry Jan.
Rolls.
We really have. I'm doing dry January because I all these jokes about me being an alcoholic. I was sitting down and I was like, rah, could this be true? I was like, okay, do you know what? Do dry Jan. And just make sure that you can at least not drink for a whole month. So, yeah, I'm drinking. Let me actually open the bottle of water because you know it's full. Okay. To 2021.
And to wiring your jaw shut so you can fit into a decent wedding dress.
To not doing that at all. Cheers.
Cheers. Literally, guys, I'm literally eating like vegetables.
I mean, like...
No, I mean, I am.
No. I mean, do what you want. But what I'm saying is that, like, surely you'll have a goal. And, like, when you get to that goal,
yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it must stop sometime.
Yeah, but let me at least fit into my dress, maintain, and then...
Have you got your dress yet?
How can I get a dress in this size?
So how do you know what you're fitting into?
Yeah, So I need to 6 months. In 6 months, I'll go wedding dress shopping.
Oh my gosh, can I come?
Oh god.
Oh, I might have to do Zoom though, because I don't know what. We'll probably be tier 5 by then.
We'll be tier 20. Someone was like, tier 5 is when they make you watch Arsenal lose over and over again.
Lord, please don't even talk to me about Arsenal. Do you know what? Yesterday, I was.
I didn't know you were a football
I'm so sorry,
fanatic.
Guys. No, I'm not. But yesterday, I was on the timeline and I saw a tweet that said Arsenal and 4-0. So Arsenal being Arsenal, automatically assumed that they had lost, right? Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was going to call the love of my life. And I was like, let me not call him in it because he's an Arsenal supporter. He might be a bit fragile right now. Let me give him his space. And then he called me and he was all upbeat. I was like, oh, babe, have you not heard? Like, the Arsenal lost 4-0. And he was like, no, we won 4-0.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
for once.
Yay. I'm so happy.
For once.
For once
No,
in their wretched lives.
You can
But apparently
come
they've won
to
their last 3 matches.
Oh, okay, well, I guess, was that 2020 or 2021?
I mean, whenever the last 3 have been played, I don't do football like that. I just check Arsenal score and I go home.
2020 was a weird year. Everything was upside down. So I think this year they'll go back to losing. But yeah,
I didn't say that.
Fitting. I did.
Yeah, you can just FaceTime me if you like.
Yeah, no, you can come. I need to be quite...
Okay.
I'm thinking about the people I want to come, not even based off...
Yes, you're going to have bare people.
I'm not going to... First of all, don't do I like that. I'm not going to have bare people. I'm going to actually be quite controlled.
You guys think that she loves me so much, yeah, but I'm actually just one of many. Like, I'm actually one of many, so...
Oh, gosh. I'm going to be very controlled with your own, but I need people who are going to give me honest opinions, but not be too harsh. So I'm slightly making sure my mum's coming, because she can be a right bitch to me at times.
But she's not... She won't accept not coming, so that's not an option for you.
Yeah.
We have to just talk her through the phrases to use.
Yeah. Stuffed toad would preferably be not one of the phrases. She said that to me 3 times this Christmas. Are we
going to eat, or are we going to try?
No, but she said to me 3 times, "You look like a stuffed toad." So,
oh Lord,
this is what.
Okay, well, I can confirm you don't look like any stuffed toad.
Thank you, darling.
Not one that I've seen.
Okay, guys. So today we're doing secrets of a sugar baby dating.
Sugar baby dating.
How did you find this documentary?
I thought it was very, very budget, and I was quite disappointed at the production value for the fact that it was BBC. I mean, in terms of like what it was about,
no Stacey Dooley.
It was no Stacey Dooley again. Anyway, let's move on. There's no Stacey Dooley, but do you know when I realised it was budget? Yeah, I think it literally was the host and one cameraman. Because you know when you have a camera, and you have like, okay, like do you remember when I used to film your interviews? Mm-hmm. You have the camera, and then you have like you have a mic on top, like a directional mic on top of the camera. So if the camera's pointing at you, I can hear you pretty well. Yeah. But then if I point the camera away from you, I can't hear you that well. Yeah. And so there was that scene where she was like talking to that like sugar daddy owner person, and like he was always like interrupting in it. We'll get there, but you could tell that it literally was him, a camera and a directional mic, and that was that. And I was like, what kind of budget? Was all the budget spent flying to Las Vegas? Okay, so I am not as production-y as BD, so I didn't pick up on this. I'm not even production-y, but I was just like, But anyway, yeah, go on.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought it was budget because of the host. She gave me budget vibes.
She did give me budget vibes, yeah. I think it was like her first and last doc. Yeah.
Just her as an individual gave me budget vibes. But yeah, I think it was a decent doc in terms of the content. Yeah. But there was a lot of stuff that I feel like just was unnecessary, and I would have liked to have seen more interviews with people rather than some
who actually did that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it.
I think I enjoyed it for the content. Yeah. I would always watch stuff to do with like
anything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's it then. Yeah.
So let's get it cracking, guys. We open up with Tiffany, who is our host, I guess. Is that what you call people? Yeah.
Yeah. She's a host. Well, yeah, it is host because it's not really narrator because we see her.
Yeah. And she's going to meet an 18-year-old girl who lives in, is it like Paddington or Piccadilly?
I don't remember.
It was somewhere up like...
Central London, Zone 1.
Somewhere that she shouldn't have been able to afford. So she goes to meet this 18-year-old sugar baby called Valentina. And she essentially dates men for money. And she has 7 sugar daddies who give her monthly allowances. Mm-hmm. And most of them are over 40 years old, which is more than double her age. And the key thing, I don't know if you...
I was thinking about the 40 relative to my age. I was like, oh yeah, that's not that bad. But like to an 18-year-old,
that is wild. Crazy. That's your dad.
That's wild. Yeah, literally. That's wild.
But I don't know if you clocked the way they filmed this bit, but it was almost like they didn't want to show her face. I don't know if it was strategic.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they just started showing her face. I was like,
no, but
maybe
they never fully showed her face full on. It was always like a side weird view.
But I feel like it was enough that if I saw her, I would know what she looked like. Yeah. Especially with her profile. Her profile is very distinctive.
Yeah, she has from the profile, I could tell that.
I okay, basically, yeah. There's this drag queen from Drag Race called Valentina, and she is the most beautiful woman who's not a woman that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, the most beautiful drag queen. And so it's like I feel like she's doing that name just a disservice because like all the names.
But anyway, all the Valentinas I've ever seen have been of questionable beauty.
Oh really? Okay, fine. Then maybe Valentina the drag queen is an anomaly.
Yeah, she says that the men she dates like that she's young, because women their age nag, and she's not nagging. She just injects fun.
This is such a pick me / I'm so young, I haven't experienced life kind of point of view.
Yep.
Because it's like a man will come and tell you, oh yeah, my wife, she just nags and stuff, and then instead of you thinking this man is trash or this man,
you're thinking, oh, look at me, I don't nag.
Exactly, look at me, I don't nag, that's why he likes me, because I'm better than her. And it's such an immature way
to address
and
you don't even see the predatory side of it, because you're such a kid.
Because you think you're better than.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? She's young. I get it. But then also I think to myself, at 18, that's when we met. No, we met at 16. So anyway, at 18, that's when we were leaving college.
We knew better.
I don't think I would be thinking, oh yeah, but she nags and I don't nag, I'm better.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why I don't feel like young girls should be dating these old men.
Yeah. 100%.
That's why it literally is grooming.
Especially when there's money involved as well. Literally, because then there's that element as well. Yeah, so she says that, like, when with some of these guys, she dresses like a schoolgirl, and she says it in this really weird way where she's like, she thinks it's fun because she actually is like a schoolgirl. And I'm like, sis, can you not see that this is extremely problematic?
What is not computing? I don't get it. Yeah, it's a bit wild.
Tiffany says,
Valentina's favourite sugar daddy is 47. She hopes to marry him when he retires.
And it's just kind of like, okay, keep dreaming. Like, when is he going to retire? When he's like 50, 60? So
but this is the thing. And like, okay, so, you know, I don't know if it's coming up or if it happened already, but there's that bit where she talks about, oh yeah, I can't deal with boys my age because they don't whatever. And it's like, it's just a reverse of the situation that we just spoke about. It's like feeling superior to these boys because their priority is college and maybe their part-time job.
Literally.
Do you know what I mean?
Which it should be.
Like, yeah, exactly. And it's like you thinking like, oh, you know, I'm too good for you because, oh, you're so immature. Like, what?
Literally what? So at this point, Tiffany leaves the house, and like I really noted this thing, and it's really random, but on her Louis bag, she had this furry like bubble thing. Do you remember in college when people used to clip them onto their bags?
Yeah.
And I was just like, this girl is such a kid.
You're a child.
She's a child. How does a 47-year-old man look at this girl and think, oh, this is a woman and I want to be intimate with her? She's such a kid. And I don't know if it's because I've got a sister around that age as well, so it's compounded by that. But I'm just like, this is really disgusting. And she was extremely detached from the situation. And I guess it's not even a detachment. She probably just doesn't understand the gravity of what exactly she's doing.
She just sees it as, I have a boyfriend who's rich and he gives me money. So like, instead of you just having one boyfriend who has a part-time job and can only buy you a flower a day, like I have 7 who I'm in relationships with and they just give me things and they give me money. Like, what's the difference between that and you dating a guy of an appropriate age that's how she rationalizes it.
I guess so. So we see the site seeking arrangement, which is where sugar babies meet most of their sugar daddies. And there's even this section that's really disturbing. So it's called Sugar Baby University, and it's aimed at students, which I guess makes sense because what market of women are mostly looking for money and broke is students.
Who is vulnerable, basically.
Literally. And you all you need to like become part of the Sugar Baby University is like a student domain. So remember like when you were at uni, you would have that at something.
At manchester.ac.uk.
Yeah, literally. So that's all you needed kind of thing. It's so weird. But
the reason why I think it's so weird and predatory is because if you had a university username, you didn't have to pay for membership. But if you didn't, then you did have to pay. So it's just another incentive to lure vulnerable young women to the site.
Literally. And we learned that there are over 500,000 students on the site earning the average of £2,900 a month, which is a lot of money. Like,
fam,
it's a decent amount of money, like, considering at that age.
I just think if I had missed a couple more church services before I started uni, this might have been me.
It would have been me either way. I wasn't even broke in uni, but who is going to turn down £2,900?
I mean, I wasn't broke, but I could have been richer.
Exactly. So we're now in Kent, which has over 1,000 subscribers signed up to sugar daddy sites seeking arrangement.
Yeah, we would be Kent, innit?
And what do you call it? This is the highest amount of people in the uni with the highest amount of subscribers from the UK. And we meet Yasmin. And yes, I was really, like, I didn't really understand, like, if Yasmin was still on the site or not. But basically, she says she joined the site because she was really broke and her friends were all doing it. And she was like, she might as well do it. So she joined. And then they were basically asking her, like, what makes you think you need this money and stuff? And she was like, social media encourages the desire for a certain lifestyle. So as you get cash strapped, you want these things because you want that instant gratification. And I was just like, this is exactly like, this is the world right now in a crux. They may be doing sugar daddy whatevers, but they're even grown people who are doing some other things just to like give the impression that they live a lifestyle, because that's what social media tells you.
I was watching a documentary on minimalism the other day, and then someone made a point and said that back in the day, it was all about keeping up with the Joneses, but the Joneses were literally your friends and family, people in your vicinity. So like, okay, maybe you have a bread maker and I don't have a bread maker. Okay, cool. Maybe I go and get a bread maker. But nowadays, you're comparing your house to Kim Kardashian's house. You're comparing your car to Sierra's car. Do you get what I mean? Because you can see it and you're trying to get to that rather than
true.
Someone who lives next to me who, you know what I mean, where it's a bit more attainable. So I think it's just the disparity is so wild. Like when she said that, I was like, wow, that explains everything.
It's so true. And it's because like these things are more accessible. Like in like 30, 40 years ago, like even like if you go back to like our mum's times kind of thing, they didn't know what kind of house Michael Jackson lived in. Obviously, they must have known he was rich.
You assume it's a big house.
Yeah, but you don't see it. So because you don't see it, you're not pushed towards these things.
Or you see like the outside of it, right? So like you go on those tours, those tourist tours, and see the outside of it.
But how many people
you don't get
go
Michael
on
Jackson. You don't get Michael Jackson tagging this new shoe that he bought that you can literally get the link to and purchase and be like, oh my days, I have the same shoes as Michael Jackson. Whereas now, like I can literally swipe up and have access to the things that these celebrities have. And I think some people think, I've got Mugler like Kim Kardashian, and now your credit
one
card
step
debt
closer
is
to being
piling.
that person.
Yeah, it's your debt is piling high, and it's wild. Whereas before, you wouldn't even know what she was wearing. You kind of just see it on the runway. Maybe you hear about it, but you don't have direct access to it.
Yeah, I remember when Tolly from Receipts said, "You people on Instagram will be competing with people who get their clothes for free." And
honestly,
since that day, I've never shopped the same. Like anytime I go to buy something, I'm like, sis, because it's so true. And that's another thing. You see, even if you're thinking about PLT, boohoo, fast fashion kind of thing, you look at Molly May by spending this amount of money on PLT clothes, but she literally gets, not only does she get it for free, she gets paid to do this shit.
She gets paid to
literally,
wear it.
Meanwhile,
literally.
your bank balance is depleting.
Now you're minus whatever. You're doing up Klarna
literally,
to
that's
afford
literally
something.
why, like, yeah, nah. It's so true. And this is it in a crux. And this is why I don't like things like Klarna, but that's a whole different conversation, because it's targeted at like vulnerable kids who are trying to keep up.
I don't think the concept of it is wrong. I just feel like the marketing towards a younger demographic is dangerous.
It's wrong because it's credit, and they're like, there's Littlewoods. All these major like shops have credit cards, so it's not like, oh, it's wrong. Like credit cards are credit cards. It's up to you to be an adult and decide. But the problem is you're marketing it towards kids. And the thing is, like, I think in our time, it's not that there weren't people who dressed well and stuff like that, but I don't feel like our generation was as image when we were in uni as this
we definitely weren't.
Literally,
because I feel like over the last few years, social media has erupted in terms of the marketing aspect of it.
Like, my sister will be telling me about people she knows who have spent, like, they are literally in thousands of pounds of debt because each, like, student loan they get, they spend it on designer things kind of thing. Why would you do that?
That's wild.
It's crazy.
You know, when you think about all of that added together, it just makes sense as to why a university student will now be looking at seekingarrangements.com or sugar daddies as an option. Because we used to joke about sugar daddies, and it was a case of like, I want to go on holiday, or like, I'm broke to the end of the month, or whatever. It was that kind of thing. Not, I want Louis, not, you know,
literally,
all that
I want
stuff.
Gucci, Prada, Fendi. It's crazy. So we now go to Nottingham, where we meet Luke. And he was cash strapped. So I'm not judging people and why they decide to go on these sites, but he literally was like, he didn't have money, he couldn't eat, like he barely had enough for rent, and he was cash strapped.
Yeah.
So he starts talking to one of his friends who he sees is like living la vida loca, buying this, buying that. And he's like, sis, where are you getting your coins from? And she's like, I'm on a sugar daddy website. So he starts on these websites dating older men. And he says his first sexual encounter, he felt horrible after, but the focus was always money.
Do you know what? I'm really happy that this, like, a man was shown on here, because it just goes to show that everybody is equally vulnerable. And I think his name was Luke. Luke was saying how, like, he couldn't go to his parents or whatever about it. And so it's kind of like, imagine feeling like that's your only option. Literally. It's similar to the Rent for Sex episode that we were saying, like, it's almost like, okay, yes, you're getting paid, but then also there's an element of being taken advantage of because you didn't really have anywhere else that you could go.
Literally.
And then seeing your friends from the outside, thinking everything looks great.
Not knowing what they go through. So his current arrangement is that he's with a 50-year-old. We don't actually find out how old Luke is, but we can assume he's like between the ages of like 18 and 21. But he's currently with a 50-year-old sugar daddy, and their arrangement is that the sugar daddy pays for dinner and drinks, and then they have sex, and he gives him 50 or 60 pounds. And I thought this was really key because I was like, what the fuck? So clearly the market is tailored towards women and taking advantage of women because obviously, as we know, women earn more based off of like the average, whatever for uni students that are women.
Stipend
and also from Valentina, who told us she earns kind of like 1,000, gets 2,000-3,000 a month from each sugar daddy. So he is earning 60 or 70 quid like an encounter. For him to even get to 3,000, how many encounters is he going to need to have?
That's wild.
How much?
And also Valentina was saying how she only sees like her boyfriend maybe like once or twice a month or something
literally
like that.
And sometimes she doesn't even have sex. So obviously if she has sex, she gets more, but sometimes she doesn't have sex. But this guy, to even get 50 or 60, because if he just goes to meet this guy, he just gets dinner and drinks. For him to actually get cash, he needs to,
and it's such a small amount. It's actually very insulting. And so before you kind of like sit on your high horse and judge, the fact that he's even accepting this, like he must be in a dire situation.
Literally,
do you get what I mean?
A desperate situation, because 60 quid. If it is 60 quid, you literally can spend that going to do your nails and your eyebrows, and like if you did your nails and your toenails and your eyebrows, that's 60 quid gone.
Yeah, that's done.
So the fact that somebody literally like, that's what they're paid to have sex with someone they don't even like, and then they feel shame about it, like BD said, obviously they must be desperate. But I just found it really key that there was that, and obviously because
that disparity.
Sex work is unregulated, there isn't like anybody doing gender equality.
We get into that about people taking advantage of it as
literally well. But there's nobody doing gender equality or equal whatever wage gap. So it's just like, okay, he's probably like, this is the best I can get. It's very...
And in his situation, he had a sugar daddy as well.
Yeah.
So essentially men are trash. Is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, either way. Even like, I always see gay guys say that like, I would not choose to be attracted to my gender, men are trash. And
I see that as well. Yeah. It's just, I feel you.
I always love it when I hear my gay, loves saying this, because I'm like, we all in the same boat here.
We're all in the literally drowning.
We have the same enemy. So... Tiffany decides to pose as an 18-year-old sugar baby, and she sets up a page, and her pictures are so dead. I was literally thinking nobody's going to message you.
No, but they will, because she's...
Cork. Say it and be free.
She's white passing. Yeah. Also, there was this bit where people's like in the marital status. Did you put this?
No, I didn't.
In the marital status, one of the options was married but looking. And I was just like, the actual audacity.
If you're married, what the hell are you looking for?
What are you looking for? Because you found it all in me.
You found it all in me. I'm every woman. It's all in me. It's just like, this world is scary. It's so scary. It's scary.
Chile.
This is why, like, women, when men come home, they're like, let me smell your dick. Because, I mean, I would never.
Okay, you very much would, but I think just for bands, not so much that you suspect cheating, but I think as foreplay you might.
Oh, is this what you get my foreplay?
Yes,
please.
It is.
Let me smell your dick. Ooh, sex.
1 + 1 is sex.
So yeah, her pictures are not enticing, but like you said, she's cork. So yeah. And one key thing she notes is that there are no age verifications when you sign up. So literally, there's nothing you need to prove that you're 18. And we'll come back to this. We do get into conversations about what these sites can do to make it safer or more safe. But yeah, that's just a key thing to know. So now we learned about 2 different cases of kind of like issues that have come from these sugar baby sites. There was Alex Titchman, who was accused... Tickleman.
Yeah, because I remember thinking it sounded like tickle, and I was like, haha, a funny name.
Oh, Tickerman, yeah. Who was accused of killing a Google exec, she met on the sugar baby site.
That is so wild. I was trying to find...
Yeah, but I was
trying to find a documentary on it, but I couldn't really find anything.
I couldn't find enough on the case itself either. It was something to do with like cocaine, and I don't know if she actually killed him as opposed to she was seen as liable because she gave him the cocaine. I don't know what happened.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I did. I tried to find... I thought it'd be quite interesting if there was a documentary on it, but I couldn't find one.
Then there was Doug Richard, who slept with a 13-year-old he met on a sugar baby site who'd lied about her age.
This is wild.
And again, this goes back to the need versus judging people, because what 13-year-old would wake up and decide they want to be on want a sugar daddy if they weren't desperate kind of thing? It doesn't make sense. I mean, I do know some of these rich kids.
And then also, in the same vein, the guy was cleared of child sex charges, which,
that was so
again,
weird
because...
to me.
No, but I don't think it was, because there's no way. I mean, I don't know, Americans look kind of grown sometimes. Because there's no way of saying, oh, prove your age or whatever. Like, as far as he's concerned, if I tell you I'm legal, then I'm legal. Like,
but then we say that, but then why don't we have that energy for like guys who they date younger girls and they're like, yeah, but she told me she was 18? Because it happens all the time, and I'm still like, yeah, you're done.
Yeah, no, it's true, but I think this is a website, like this came from this is a website who's marketed to like college students or university girls and stuff, and like you see the pictures and you think, okay, yeah, like I don't know, and we don't know what the girl looks like, so maybe if she looked, because some kids like you didn't think that it's like even I remember even when I was like legal, like 18, 19, guys would move to me and be like, oh, you look kind of young. I'm like, so why are you talking to me then? Whether I'm of age or not. Do you know what I mean?
Whereas I was the opposite. I had guys moving to me from 13 because I looked
older.
18,
exactly. And then it's like, okay, cool, you look older. And then when I now tell you that I'm 13, okay, cool, now you back away if you are a decent person. But if you had just been like, yeah, I'm 18, and then they slept with you, then it's like, okay, can we really charge you for child sex offences?
Do you know what I'm thinking of?
What?
Think about who I would be thinking of.
You're thinking of Michael Scott?
No. Somebody in my life.
That's exactly what came to mind. But then I was like, oh no, you're laughing. So like maybe it's
no,
funny.
I still laugh at that situation. I mean, it's not funny looking back now, but it is funny. But yeah, funny enough, so I was surprised they didn't mention the case that happened in the UK. There was like this Asian, I don't know if he was a billionaire or millionaire, and he was sleeping with a girl. She was a rich girl actually, but she was just on this escorting site for fun. My friend told me about this case because the girl was his friend, and he killed her. I don't remember what went down. I'll post this on the Instagram, guys. So make sure you do go to our Instagram. I will look for this and post it. My friend told me about this because he was friends with the girl. And yeah, he murdered her. And I can't remember the details.
Why?
I don't know. I need to go and find this. I'm going to find it and post a screenshot on it on the and link it in the on our Instagram. But
yeah, at 2girls1doc.
At 2girls1doc. But she was. This is another branch of like. And this is what I mean, they should have interviewed more women who do this, because she was a different branch of sugar baby, where she was actually from a very wealthy family, lived a really good life, did coke. She went to like Oxford and dropped out, and she just decided that she had more than enough money, but she just decided this was something.
Can we go back? Did you just say did coke?
Yeah.
Okay, just drop that in. Okay,
there's nothing to just drop in. I mean, we know the demographic.
The trajectory of what you were saying. She's from a wealthy family, living a good life.
But that's what they do. I thought that was standard. They do coke as to us going to church. It is coke. This is like non-verbal reasoning when you were doing your common entrance. Yeah, like, coke is to
black
rich white
is to
girls.
church as coke is to rich white girls.
Literally. But yeah, she just decided that she's going to do this for the shits and gigs. And
wow, okay.
And
well,
more power there's a whole group of like rich kids who just do this for fun.
I mean, I guess it's an option, isn't it?
What's the difference between that and what they were doing on Gossip Girl? The only thing is Serena wasn't getting paid for it. She was still running around the whole of New York, sleeping.
Fair.
Did you watch Gossip Girl?
I did back in the day. I haven't watched it recent times.
So we're now in New York and we meet Chandler, not Bing. I mean, the irony of there being a Chandler that's in New
Chandler,
York.
no Bing.
Literally, no Bing. Oh my God.
Happy New Year.
So we meet Chandler, who moved to New York to get into fashion, but to make money on the side, she started sugar dating. And she tells us that, like, literally the first time she did it, she was really strapped for cash. She got offered like $800, and after that she was just like, wow, like she was exhilarated.
Yeah.
She needs this. Like,
I didn't even do anything. Yeah.
Literally. And you know, at the end of the day, like, the way I see it is, like, most of us fuck for free. Like, I mean, not just anybody, but we do it with our partners.
But either
for free.
way.
And I understand there's a relationship, blah, 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 blah. But we do it for free. So I wouldn't mind if next time my fiance dropped a cool, crisp £50 times 10 on the table. I would...
Do you know what?
And that's not my going rate, but I will give him a discount.
Discount for love.
For love.
But this is the thing. I feel like...
That should be like
again,
a movie, Discount for Love.
Discount for love. That would be an Hollywood film. I feel like what then is the difference between sugar dating and sex work? Like,
We will
because
get
the same
into
logic
this.
can be applied to both.
We will get into this. So,
Dun,
in
dun,
conclusion, I will conclude. So she says there was this day that she was strapped for cash, and then she gets offered $1,200 by Ron for a threesome. So that's $1,200 a piece, which would be to
2,400.
thank you for that's
And
almost
he's an
two of us.
investment banker, so this ain't nothing to him.
This ain't nothing but chicken wing.
Wang.
So
Change.
she asks her friend to join her, and they get ready. I found it really creepy because he was I was disgusted by this. He was very specific with how he wanted them to dress, the makeup, the underwear.
Yeah, and I was like, did you not know that this was going the way it was going?
Literally. And the red flag here is he asks her to book the room and organise everything. And so when she's like, oh...
And pay for it.
And he wanted to see the confirmation. And then he was very specific about where he wanted the room to be located. It was located near a university kind of like underground station. And when she was like to him, oh, like, why do you want me to book this? Like, I don't usually do the booking. And she was like, oh, he was like, his last sugar baby was his PA and he's really busy. So she usually did all these things.
Which is also weird because, like, why would your PA be your sugar baby? That's not how the sugar, like, do you get what I mean? That's your PA, so you're paying her
Literally.
already for her PA role. Like, how is she then also your sugar baby? Like, it doesn't even make any sense.
Literally. But this girl's like anything for the coin. So she does all of this, sends him
Yeah.
the confirmation, and they get
And
there.
she's done it before, and it was fine. So I guess
So when she gets there, he looks different to his pictures, but I guess again the coin. So so they get into the room. Before the act starts, he asks her to request the money on PayPal. So she does, and they get into it. Blah blah blah.
she doesn't even wait for it to be accepted.
They get into it, blah, 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 and then after that, he leaves, and then they leave. So she's on the train on the way back, and she's like, this guy hasn't, like, accepted the request, so the money hasn't left his account. So she messages him, and she was like, oh, when are you going to accept the request? And literally, he blocks her. And that's when it dawns on her that not only is she out of money in terms of he's not paying me, but she also literally lost money on the hotel.
The booking.
Yeah. So because she believes she broke the law, she can't go to the police, and that's pretty much it for the case. Until she reports him to the sugar dating website. Then they ban her for for exchanging money for sex. Which obviously these sites, the way they're marketed is, it's about companionship. You shouldn't do pay per meets. It's like mentorship.
Because escorting is actually prohibited.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not really enforced.
Mm-hmm. So she obviously broke the rules, so they ban her. Which, okay, fair enough. But they don't ban the guy at this point. So I was like,
Thank you very much.
misogyny a bit. So after this, she decides if she can't go to police, she can't get him banned, she's going to go to the press. So she goes to New York Times, they start investigating her and him and her, and they basically call Ron, and he says he did have a threesome but never promised money. So they're like, okay, if you weren't gonna there wasn't gonna be any sort of financial transaction, why were you on a sugar date baby website? And he was like, oh, he just wanted to meet girls. Why did you lie about being an investment banker? Because it turns out his name is Imran Khan and he is a student. And he says he lied because he felt like it would be a better way to meet women. So obviously we all know he's lying. The story doesn't add up. And once the article gets published, more women come forward and they be like, yeah, I was actually duped by this exact man. Same.
And also,
MO.
we say student, he's a research student. He's not a small boy. Like, he's grown.
Earning money.
And married.
Literally with kids. So it was very embarrassing.
Very embarrassing.
So now suddenly we're in Las Vegas. I feel like Tiffany just wanted a holiday and she's like, let me do a documentary.
Honestly. And they were like, you know what, fine, if you're going out there, she wanted to go on vacation, if you're going out there, you might as well film something. So her and her man came with the camera and the one directional mic, and then
and then that was that.
And they were like, oh, fuck it, let's just question some people while we're here.
She never worked again. So now we're in Las Vegas and we meet Brandon, a millionaire who owns a string of these sugar baby sites. And he essentially states that these sites, he started them because he couldn't get girls. Which is, you know what, fair enough. Like, you couldn't get girls, here's a solution to the problem. Fine, do you. So we go to his home.
All those guys that are like, oh, I couldn't get girls when I was younger, and now I'm rich, and now all the girls come to...
This is
I'm
the
just
fantasy.
It's actually a complex, like, seek therapy.
I'm not trying to be funny. This is the fantasy. So the two fantasies men, like, get hard over. I was broke and you didn't want me. Now I'm up.
And now I'm rich.
And I'm rich and I'm that guy. The second fantasy is, oh, you left me for a bad boy. Now you're a single baby mama and you want me, the good guy. These are the two fantasies that when men think about, they literally get a massive hard on. And it's like, you guys need therapy. Because these scenarios don't even exist in real life. I've never seen a girl that was like, oh my gosh, that one guy that I, whatever, like, did it. I'm like, nobody thinks like this.
And it's the thing where it's like, okay, it may not have been because you were broke, especially these like young men. Like, everyone was broke. The guy I left you for was even broke. There's that. Or it's like an Issa and Lawrence situation. It's like, I was with you in the trenches. You weren't doing anything, nigga. It was in my best interest to leave. And now that you're rich... Now that you're so rich, this billion that you're never going to make, I don't feel a way. I made the right decision for myself, and I'm happy that I made that decision to the end of time. Whether you become Diddy now or later.
Literally.
Do you know what I mean?
Because at that time, it was what I needed to do.
Exactly. So this whole, I couldn't get girls until I started this, and now the girls want, okay, you're still paying them. So now what?
Honestly. So we go to his home, and it's basically a rich bachelor's home, but it's so soulless. Like, he likes he says he likes the minimalist, whatever. There's no warmth. There's no homely feeling.
Yeah, that's the thing. It can be minimalistic, but it doesn't have to be dead inside.
Literally, I didn't see one picture of him or his... Like, it was
it doesn't look like a home.
I was just, you must come home every day and cry. If I came home to a house every day, I would just cry. And not tears of joy.
Yeah. No, he doesn't cry. He just looks at the view and then he's all good.
Yeah.
The view outside the home.
He's 48 and we meet his 22-year-old girlfriend who looks 40. And she
doesn't look 40. I would say maybe like 33, 34.
No, she looks... Okay, let me be fair. 35. We'll post a screenshot, guys. You decide. So she met Brandon via the Sugar Baby website. And her name is Zoe.
Via his own website.
Huh?
It's via his own website.
His own website.
What is that? Serendipity?
Literally. So Zoe says...
I don't see myself as a sugar baby. If somehow he was to lose like all of his money, I'm so deep in this relationship and so in love with him now that, I wouldn't just like leave. And I feel like that is kind of what, a sugar baby may do.
And I was like, lol, okay, sis.
Rolls eyes
to the back of my head. So she says that she doesn't get an allowance, but she uses his credit card as she wants, and he pays for everything. And he says that he also puts money into her savings, which is like, you know what? I rate this because she's working. Yeah. And this is what Dangote's sugar babies should have been doing, but they were collecting bags.
So this is bruh, taking pictures of bums. Listen, when he was going through the list of things. When he was going through the list of things, I was like, right, okay, so like this girl has no credit or no money whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But then he mentioned the savings account, and I was like, all right, cool, this makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, this makes sense.
Because he basically says that he doesn't want a situation where they break up and she feels like she's helpless, like she doesn't have any, like she leaves it and she's like, she doesn't know where she's going or what to do. So he puts money aside for her, which is, you know what, fair enough.
Yeah, it's commendable. But it's commendable. But you know what it sounded like to me? It sounded like a father and daughter.
It was very transactional.
Like, yeah, it sounded not even transactional. It just sounded like my dad wants the best for me, so he's putting money in my savings account so that when I grow up, I can feel like, or you know, or like when I die, like she can feel like she still has something.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me. It sounded very like, this is my daughter, and I'm making sure she has the best start in life.
Yeah, well, it was a weird. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was weird. So Brandon says that he still sees other women if he gets bored, which I was like, I wish my man would say he got bored of me. I wish.
This whole exchange was so funny to me. Like, this whole exchange was so funny.
It was so funny. It got
was so
funnier
funny to me.
as this literally scene got funnier. So he's like,
Yeah,
he
this
sees other
scene,
women.
like, it was like a crescendo.
He sees other women if he gets bored, and he describes himself as polyamorous. And he says, how do you say that word? Polyamorous? Polyamorous.
Yeah.
He says he's not usually intimate because his tastes are really high. Look at Zoe. I was like, lol, okay. And I remember when I was watching this with my sister the first time, we were like, this is kind of problematic, but whatever. So
especially with the whole like Asian and white savior.
This is exactly what I said.
Because Brandon is Asian. I don't know where exactly he's from.
And remember him saying that he couldn't get girls. So it's kind of like, it's the same thing like some black men do when they reach a level of success and they see white women as the pinnacle. And this is it's like, I have high taste. Look at Zoe. She's this white woman, blonde, young, and this is literally like your like
I can do no better. Like, you guys aren't even worth my time because
literally, because I've got
it's
a white
very
woman.
yeah. I thought the same thing. I was just like, you know, there's so much that comes. Like, let's leave this alone for now. But let's
fine. So please. So Zoe then says that she's monogamous and she loves Brandon. Essentially, she doesn't want to date anyone else.
She doesn't want to be with anyone else.
So then Tiffany, you know, this is the most we've gotten out of her.
This is the only good thing that she did this whole...
Literally, she says, well, you know, how would it be if you decided you wanted to date other people? So then Brandon starts doing wait for the. He's like, well, we're trying for kids, so, you know, and he doesn't answer it first. And she's like, yeah, no, but I wouldn't do that. And then he's like, you're trying for kids at the end of the year. Then there's a bit of silence. And then she's like, well, but, you know, if I wanted to do it, it wouldn't be a problem. And then he laughs, like this awkward laugh. And then she's like, yeah, like our relationship is strong enough that I'm sure that if I decided I wanted to date other people, it wouldn't be a problem. And then he was like, let's cross this bridge when we get to it.
When we get there. Which is, and this is the thing, if you are polyamorous, you clearly understand the fact that you can be in love with someone and still want to sleep with other people. So in that same vein, following that thought process, you should then be able to extrapolate that and be like, okay, well, she still loves me, but she gets bored, as you said, or she wants to be with other people. And so the fact that she can't do that,
it's very telling.
I love the fact that it's very telling, and I love the fact that Tiffany asked that question, and I love the fact again that Zoe was like, yeah, but if I wanted to,
I could,
and he's defo punching in terms of looks.
Yeah.
And she's punching in terms of finances, but like she could do so much better than him, and I think he knows that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to lose my trophy, my prized possession.
Yeah.
How can you be saying you're polyamorous and you can't understand that?
She literally said to him, Candy, when I'm out in the car, don't think I'm not.
Yeah, literally.
That's what he said. But you know what? This just goes.
Does Candy sing that song?
Yes. Go watch the video.
No, she didn't.
Go watch the video. Go watch
Candy.
Candy Burruss.
No, wasn't it like Genevieve or someone?
Genevieve who? Genevieve Nagi.
No, I'm gonna find it right now.
It was Candy.
Oh my god.
Burruss.
Oh my god, it is her.
And you know the other song she was in as well? Girl, I've been drinking, trying to get to you and that booty.
No.
Yep, it was her.
Do you know what? I've respected her,
and then she starts singing.
I've always respected her because she gave us Scrubs, but
wow, yeah.
Wow, I love her more now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I'm out in the club, don't think
I'm not. No, when you're out in the
Candy
club,
Burruss.
don't think I'm not. Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway,
even when you're out making love, don't think I'm not. When you're feeling good in somebody's spot, getting hot, don't stop. Just don't think I'm not.
I'm not.
Because I'm out
getting mine. She is. Preach, sister, preach. But yeah, I think this shows that there's a lot of element of control here, because he wants to do what he wants to do, and that's cool. She should accept that because he holds the finances, whereas she can't do what she wants to do. And
exactly.
And I was happy
so
she stood
again,
up for herself.
it's still financial control.
Exactly, which is ultimately what a lot of these sugar baby arrangements come down to. So, Tiffany has now received over 80 messages on her dead sugar baby profile.
Oh yeah, Adriana.
And this just shows you men literally will, And a lot of these men are in their 50s, so she's like, oh my gosh, like they're older than me. And it's like, yeah, duh, what do you think this was? And she makes contact.
Valentina was 18.
Huh?
I said Valentina was 18.
Literally. She makes contact with one, they exchange numbers, and the guy says on WhatsApp that he wants to fuck in all its various forms.
All its various
forms.
And
guys, I would really like people to comment and just be like, what are the various forms of fucking? Because as much as I know, either way the penis is going in the vagina or the arse.
It's going into an orifice of sorts.
So what are these various... Because he makes it seem like there are 50 million forms and he wants to do all of them one by one.
Yeah, maybe he means different positions. Maybe he means different holes.
Maybe positions for you. And a kitchen in the bedrooms.
Oh, Lord.
We have so many songs.
It's been a throwback day today.
That's not a throwback. That's 2020. Okay, well, 2020 is a throwback. Yeah.
Well, that is a throwback. 2020?
Yeah, positions. Ariana Grande. It was late 2020 at that.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry,
just
guys.
Ponytail and vibes, sis.
Ponytail and vibes. No, I like Ariana Grande's music, man. Let me give her more.
No, I like her, but she is just ponytail and vibes. Like, her videos be making no sense. As long as it's a ponytail, that's all you need to know it's Ariana Grande.
No, but she has great vocals, though.
Yeah, she does.
Ponytail, vocals, and vibes.
Yeah. Well, it's still ponytail. Nah, it's ponytail and vibes. Because she will never remove that ponytail.
I will never remove.
Literally. So, he says it's £150 per meet, which is quite cheeky as well. It seems it's still more than what Luke was getting, but it's a lot less than what I guess Valentina's an OG though in her craft.
True, but then I also feel like, say it were I who were sugar babying, if someone came to me with 150, immediately I'd be like, okay, no, it's 350 or nothing. You're going to meet me halfway, at the very least. So I think, obviously people have the money to pay for sex, but I reckon everyone wants a cheap deal where they can get one.
Yeah, regardless of what
and also, if this is what you do, even if it's your first time, if you were to say something like, oh, well, I never accept anything less than 500, then cool, don't waste my time. Because why am I going to do this for shit money?
Yeah. And this makes me think as well, sorry, Valentina being an OG in her game at 18, when did she start?
At 18.
When did she start?
Wild, isn't it?
So, Tiffany then meets with Brandon again before she leaves Las Vegas. And basically, he's refusing to admit that he facilitates the act of paying for sex. Because he says the argument is the intention of the site is not for sex. It's just like Tinder. Mm-hmm. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, all of these things, they're not there. They don't say that this is for sex. They're there for relationships, but people make of them what they will. And that's what they've done on this site, which I agree with, actually. I actually do agree that, he cannot control what people decide to do often on the site. If you give a man your number off the site, then, you no longer have the protection of the site.
Whatever happens.
Because they can block you if you're having conversations about sex in the DMs, but they cannot block you on WhatsApp. So... Yeah. So she brings up the case of Chandler, and he says again it's not his fault that with this case he gets really passionate, and he's saying that
he gets really irate about it.
But I think it's because it's a touchy subject for him, which I understand. He basically says that this is not an escorting site. If you want to escort, there's so many places in New York where you can do escorting. You can have a madame. Why did she come on this site knowing what it was? That it's not an escorting site. So what do people... And I agree. I actually agree with him. The only thing I could say in terms of the age verification is they could scan ID. Because I remember when I wanted to set up Monzo, you had to put either your passport or your ID card.
Yeah.
And then that pulls. And also this allows authenticity and protects people, because then you'd have to use your real name.
Do you know what? I understand what Brandon was saying in that bit, but then that doesn't then explain why she was punished. Okay, fine, because she was using the site not the way it was supposed to be, but then why wasn't he punished? Because clearly he's offering the pay per meet.
Yeah, that's where the issue comes, kind of thing. That bit I don't agree with, but I do agree with the fact with what he says about it's not his fault, and people shouldn't
it's not his fault. Blame the sites.
So Tiffany's back in London now, and she's arranged to meet with one of the sugar daddies from the site. And she says that she's starting to feel like this is sex work rather than the arrangement it's meant to be. So she goes to meet him, and he's being all weird and discreet. Like, he can't really explain why he has to be so kind of undercover. But long story short, they go outside to talk, and he says he's got a room, they can shower and then have sex for 2 hours, and then she gets paid. So in the end, she basically leaves, and she says to him that she's not comfortable. And he was really lovely. Like, he was just like, okay, that's fine. I understand, you know, holler at me if you ever change your mind.
If you change your mind, yeah.
And she just says that it was really difficult to leave that situation because he was actually a nice guy. Like, you think of these old men who go for young girls and you think they're seedy, they're weird, they're this, but he was literally just a nice guy. And she found that difficult kind of to deal with. And she basically says in the end that sugar dating, she feels like it's sex work, just like escorting. Now, what I wanted to say was, I don't think sugar baby falls under the umbrella of sex work because it's not its intention. So having a sugar baby being a sugar baby isn't meant to encompass sex. It's literally just meant to be companionship.
The sugar is companionship.
Exactly. But obviously it has then kind of evolved into sex work, because 9 out of 10 times to make the big money, you do need to, even if it doesn't start off that way. Like, remember when we were doing escorts?
Yeah.
Remember when we were doing escorts and she went for dinner with the guy and then he gave her £600 and then it progressed. So it always progresses, and you are willing to go on that journey because you want the point. And I think that's when it becomes sex work. But I understand the difference between sugar dating and escorting, because if you go to meet an escort, you know you're going to have sex, whereas the sugar baby is meant to be companionship. So,
and I guess if that is the route that you choose in terms of escorting, then is it not safer to do it on like a specific
escorting site which exists?
Yeah, this is an escorting service or site, and I know that there's like cover in case anything should go wrong, kind of thing.
I think the issue is that people go on the sugar baby website with a fantasy of being scooped up and falling in love with this rich older guy, and in the process of trying to make it till they get there, they have sex, which they shouldn't, kind of thing. Because the amount of women that have the fairy tale story of like, I was a sugar baby and then my sugar daddy fell in love with me and he took me to his $1 million mansion.
But then in being a sugar baby and sugar daddy and falling in love, I'm sure sex occurred in that time. It's just that now it doesn't seem like sex work because I had sex with someone who I eventually fell in love with. And now he's my husband.
So, but the people go in search of that story, and then whilst they're searching for it, they end up obviously having sex because they're on the journey to finding it with maybe a few frogs in hopes of kissing a prince. I mean, it's what we do in real life for free. So
for free.
But yeah, guys, that was
Secrets of Sugar Baby Dating.
Yeah.
Oh, have we decided what we're doing next? This is awkward. No. Wow, what a great start to the year. Do you know what? We will figure it out.
Can I just say, the crime is that I am not making £2,000 to £3,000 doing fuck all a year.
Yeah. The crime here is that people out there, 18-year-olds out there, are making $2,900 a month on average dating, and I am not.
And that this old man slept with a 13-year-old. Whoever's fault that was, it was still gross.
That is wild. That is wild.
It's so scary.
That is wild. Yeah, guys, we will figure out what we're doing next, and we'll play the trailer. So listen out for that next. In the meantime, between time, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at 2girls1doc. We'll be posting screenshots and snippets and lots of extra stuff on there. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at BDOnEyewear, and also BDOnEyewear.com. And where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at 4Enzo2 _. And you can also find me on in Character Replay, my other podcast.
That Prosecco hitting, boy.
It be hitting. And that is on Twitter and Instagram as well. And guys, we do some really good Clubhouse rooms talking about different TV show characters, so make sure you follow us so you can stay up to date with all the Clubhouse announcements.
All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for listening and making it this far. And here is the trailer for the next episode, which is yet to be decided at this current time that we are recording.
TBD, as Michael says.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
In an incident disturbingly reminiscent of several ISIS-inspired terror attacks.
News in Santa Barbara County, a gunman went on a mass shooting.
The driver appearing to intentionally strike victims on the sidewalks.
Deadly shooting at a Tallahassee yoga studio.
Manassian was angry over being rebuffed by women.
These young men often feel like they are owed relationships and they're owed sex.
The group name that you've probably never heard of before, incels or involuntary celibate.
So much fucking rage in my fucking body. So angry, so hateful, so much full of hatred right now at this fucking worthless piece of shit world.
Women are just evil, you know what I'm saying? Women are evil, women are cruel, women are mean, you know what I'm saying?
I have no fucking anything that women could like. Nothing. I want to stab them all.
Let's have sex, baby. Well, you wanna have sex with me? Huh? Huh?